censorship on plot, obviously, we had Robotech is the absolute best example of this. It was a combination of, I want to get this right, Super Dimensional Cavalry Southern Cross and Genesis Climber Mospeta, as well as Super Dimensional Fortress Macross. So basically, yeah, they slapped together 3 basically unrelated series, tied them all together, and released as Robotech as we know it here. So yeah, here it is using Japanese animation as an American product. Actually, finally, then yeah, cultural streamlining. On the left, you see the censored Pokemon where Ash is holding some sandwich. Right? He's holding Ash. Apologize. He's always holding the rice thing.
Gary.
That's something that drives me nuts too, because Americans, network executives apparently think that children are so idiotic that they can't possibly wrap their minds around the other culture, so they will actually go through the trouble of putting this in just so they won't be confused by the concept of, you know, rice. I'm trying to come up with some more examples here.
It's white, it's powdery, it must be crack.
Yeah. Yeah. Crack cake. But
that's why he's so fast.
But yeah, but it's even in locales. God, the thing that never took off, thank God. You know, any hardcore anime fan about 04 hates 4Kids Entertainment because of what they did to One Piece especially, and what they did to, well, in my case, Canadian Man. And then, of course, we have Tokyo Mew Mew, which that's not what's called here. It's Hollywood Mew Mew, and let's change. But that, thank God, never saw the light of day. I love dragging on here, but my hatred for 4Kids was so great that in 04, I actually wrote a cosplay that the fellow over there in the World of Warcraft cap and our photographer over here were in. He played a 4Kids executive and came out mocking the audience for how he's going to alter anime. And actually, the classic Big Uncle Fuku, Kevian over there, playing as Ryu, either from Street Fighter or Breath of Fire, your choice, because he had the same name, so he had the same abilities, including Fireball. And my fiance, who's played as a
stereotypical healer slash thief.
Yeah, the stereotypical healer slash thief who is basically useless. And in a RPG battle to defeat the Fox executive. And I was a little worried back then that the culture had been so diluted by the mainstream that no one would even understand the joke. And he comes out mocking people and saying who he is, and there was a massive booze. It was so great that he could not hear his visual or his audio cue.
And literally, Chris was probably standing right where Chris is right there.
Our photographer, Chris?
Yes. I was standing right here at the door. I could not hear my audio cue from here, and
Chris is probably talking. Photographer Chris is probably talking like this, and the boos were so loud. I mean, because
when he started, it actually sounded a little bit louder. It's like, "Hello, freaks."
Yeah. Unfortunately, that footage,
such a good job with it.
no one ever taped the thing, so it's lost to antiquity. So yeah, well, Hollywood Mew Mew. Well, let's move it to America or some like fantasy stories like One Piece. It's easier. It's just an ambivalent fantasy world, generic world. But we had Street Fighter 2, the animated movie, in addition to cutting out for years shower scenes because that people beating each other up is not as bad as nudity as we established. They changed a newspaper to New York Times. Guess why not? Dragon Ball Z, the currency was US dollars. You'll see that in anime actually every so often. They'll make a slip up where it's like $50? No, I think they meant yen, but whatever. So Really, the rest of this stuff is just like things like dub titling and that, but I think that's just a panel called "How Distribution Companies Are Idiots." You know, dub titling, where they just write out the dub script. And my favorite were toy animations, when they decided, we were a big enough company, let's release our own DVDs in America, but they didn't know how to do it, so the DVD menus looked like crap. You couldn't skip to the next episode, and my favorite, it wasn't subtitles, it was dub titles, wherein the recorded English dialogue was translated. But better yet, and this was also in the second Ghost in the Shell movie, which made it mediocre following to a legendary movie even worse. It was dub titled. In both these examples, sound effects were subtitled. So I'd be watching it in Japanese, and it's like grunts, whistles. Man, I did not know what the sound of a whistle sounded like in Japanese. Now I know. I recovered, just going off this list, I recovered opening and closings, as you could tell. I mean, I got one more thing I want to conclude with, though, about the music, because I make such a big deal about it. I think it's uncalled for it to do this, because it's not giving an accurate experience to the audience, even though it isn't for the audience intended. Back in the day, in the early 90s and that, when you had Tenchi Muyo, etc., Pioneer U.S. branch, rest their souls, was actually excellent, because they would go through all the trouble of not only of translating and adapting their Japanese music to English, and they actually did a pretty good job. It didn't necessarily always sound the best when you translate those lyrics, but at least they made an effort, and some of it was quite good. I mean, you can sit around and listen to I'm a Pioneer, and no one would ever know that it's from an anime. Companies would actually make an effort to do that. I don't know the original source on it, because I unfortunately didn't have a chance to watch it in Japanese yet, but Project Echo, there's an English version of the songs. I think doing a competent job on the music shows a lot more effort than just making your own one-piece hip-hop or flatulent song. So, well, I'm going to end this panel and kind of hand it over to Aaron. But first, does anyone have any comments? Their experience, their perceptions? I notice we have. I don't know how old you are. To me, you look younger, but
16.
16. Is it your sister?
We get that a lot. She's my daughter.
All right. And it's excellent. He's a parent of older children,
but they've been raised on this stuff, and I never taught them that there was anything wrong with the human body. And the thing is that the two boys, they're now 17 and 15, and the 15-year-old is here today. We think it's ludicrous to sit around and censor something that's ink and paint. I mean, it's ink and paint. Get over it,
well,
people.
your example of Goku, he's a child, and
Yeah.
mostly in Japan, there was for the longest time there was a taboo about this is odd too. The country that is known for tentacle rape on a daily basis doesn't show, for the longest time, censored out genitals. They're a way around for children, not a problem. America and Japan are kind of on the same page on that, because you see baby bottoms all the time, and it's like no big deal. I don't know where you draw the line between